Hello. This is Monday, June 23rd, 2025. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker, coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky. The weather today, high will be 94 in this area. Presently it is 82 and feels like 88. There's a heat advisory until Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The impacts are hot temperatures and high humidity may cause heat illness. Suggestions are drink plenty of fluids, stay in an air-conditioned room, stay out of the sun, and check up on relatives and neighbors. Take extra precautions when outside. Wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothing. Try to limit strenuous activities to early morning or evening. Take action when you see symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. I was outside yesterday afternoon, and believe me, I would not want to do a repeat performance of that. Sunrise today was at 6:15 a.m. Presently, it is just a little bit before 9:30 a.m. here in Lexington. Sunset will be at 9:04 p.m. The AQI is good at 46. The wind around 3 miles per hour, 4 miles per hour. And here's a question with these summer days coming up on us. AC, on or off? This is relative to what building engineers refer to as the ambient temperature. And it applies throughout the seasons, winter as well as summer. The ambient temperature is 12 to 15 degrees difference between outside and inside. And with heat indexes usually in effect during the summer months, that it might be good to kind of pay attention to that, because if your thermostat is set low meaning maybe 70, some people like 68 and they put on extra clothes. But 12 to 15 degree difference between outside and inside. You can do the math, for what makes you comfortable. 72 to 75, kind of takes away that freezing feeling or that cold feeling in your home. And this is across the board, no matter what your living circumstances or housing arrangements might be. Typically, winter months are a little more expensive when it comes to energy. Summer months, I've noticed there's been a drop significantly in my bill the last couple of times as we get into warmer weather. But all those things are advisories to you relative to the weather, whatever your location. I wanted to take a moment to say something to you as a viewing audience, and this is wherever you are geographically. I don't really come on the air with the sideshow just to pass on a lot of sensationalism, who got shot, what human did what unhuman thing to another human, and all the dastardly things that people are capable of. That's not the purpose of the sideshow. The purpose is to pass on things, information that can benefit us wherever we are on the globe. Because of goods and services, we all have to interact together. Whether you're in the Pacific side of things or on the Atlantic side of things, goods and services still have to go back and forth. So, per an example, the situation in Iran. President Trump made some decisions, and almost immediately, Iran start closing one of the waterways referred to as a strait that they control, that oil passes through to service the rest of the globe. So whether it's the World Health Organization, which services all the countries worldwide, or as it is in this country, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, which lets us know about diseases that have reached a percentage point where we need to keep an eye on it, or what goods and services we have in relative to food, recalls, any of those things that affect our daily living, not just on our street, but also our interactions with other countries as well. So I just wanted to put that out there this morning, Monday, June 23rd, 2025, as we're a couple of days into the summer. So let's get into the news. Number one, Costco told to start revoking memberships for shoppers who embarrass themselves by ignoring checkout policy. Next one, child remains in critical condition after her mom, who told police that she becomes extremely upset and has difficulty controlling herself, struck the 6-year-old an unknown number of times with a tool. That's per the police, and that happened here in Kentucky. Excuse me. Next one, Kentucky seeing more cases of a dangerous bacterial infection. Know the symptoms. So you might want to go online if you're a Kentucky resident and see what your local government has to say about that bacterial infection. Next, welcome to Hell House. Man punched pregnant woman in stomach, kicking and kneeing her until she passed out after locking her inside RV. Texas. Yak Gotti's attorney, Doug Weinstein, alleges young thug risked prison to protect his crew by declining a blind plea like Gunner. The catch, admit YSL is a gang. Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, refused. Continuing items in the news, headlines. Number 6, Colorado Buffaloes football legend Shadir Sanders will make Browns roster this season, but not as a starting quarterback. As you may already be aware, there are several other players ahead of Shadir in the quarterback position. But in training camp, he is 11 for 11. So that's showing an improvement in his status with the Browns. Pacers. Rick Carlisle motivated by leaked video of Thunder championship buses. That's all I'm thinking about. So this was prior to last night's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Pacers had decorated some open-top buses and put the championship on the sides and pictures of the trophy, etc., etc. Next one, Alex Caruso says Thunder title means more than his Lakers ring. Excuse me. Now I got a real one. Now nobody can say anything. Well, we're all entitled to our opinions and our expressions. Alex Caruso has expressed his. And number 9, NBA fans convince Clippers trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George might be the worst deal ever after Thunder's championship win. In July 2019, the Los Angeles Clippers traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the Thunder in exchange for Paul George. The blockbuster deal also included 5 first-round picks, 2 first-round pick swaps, and forward Danilo Gallinari. And number 10 in the headlines, Trump banishes GOP representative from MAGA as civil war gets ugly. The President Donald Trump excommunicated Congressman Thomas Massie from MAGA after he dared criticize the president's decision to bomb Iranian nuclear facilities. This politician is from Kentucky, and it should be noted that although President Trump ordered action against Iran, it should have gone through Congress for approval. In the top stories, Tyrese Halliburton just suffered the most devastating injury in NBA history, and it impacts the whole league. They lost Tyrese Halliburton, the 25-year-old superstar who makes their entire playing style possible, to a lower leg injury that is widely believed to be a torn Achilles tendon. The best case scenario is on a torn Achilles is a lost season. At this point, as far as I know, nothing has been confirmed about Tyrese's injury. Top stories continues. Michigan church shooting. Minister ran over gunman before security guards shot them dead, pastor says. So this is out of Michigan. It seems that they have security there. Gunman approached, started shooting. The pastor arrives in his Ford F-150, hits the gunman with his truck. The security guard shoots him. Another security guard got shot in the leg in the exchange of gunfire. Next, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's epic season adds one more trophy. Finals MVP. To paraphrase Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's comment, was that when you get to the playoffs and all the great ones before him that have reached the Hall of Fame, that have been MVPs, have been recognized as superstars, he wants to play his game during his career to be situated with those kind of players. Gilgeous-Alexander excelled under the brightest of lights. 29 points and a career playoff high, 12 assists in Game 7, leading the Thunder to a 103-91 win and the team's first championship in the city. He controlled and orchestrated the game in a masterclass performance, and with that, he was unanimous NBA Finals MVP. So here on the East Coast, sentimentally, I would have gone with Indiana, especially after their upsetting number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, and then going on to defeat the Knicks to arrive in the NBA Finals. The odds makers were favoring the Thunders, and it was a tit-for-tat game. Finalizing in 3-for-3. Indiana did come out with the first win, and each win was decisive, like 10 points or something like that. The spread was significant. So to me, I would think that this is one of the few times when you can see a final series where you had excellent play in men's professional basketball. Contact, not a whole lot of flagrant fouls, 1 or 2 injuries. I think the Thunders lost one of their players in the first game, and then Indiana lost their star player in the final game. But all in all, it was a good series. And as I stated on a previous broadcast, I think maybe around Game 5 or whatever, that the Statistics show that with the team in the position that Indiana was in at the time, favors 80-20 to them being the champions. But like I said then, let's see what 20% can do. So now we have the Thunders as 2025 NBA Finals champions. Continuing with the top stories, Kevin Durant reportedly traded to Houston. Phoenix gets Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, number 10 pick, and more. While the trade has been agreed to, it cannot be consummated until July 6th. I think NBA goes on the 25th, which is just 2 days away. Lynn Hamilton, Sanford and Son, and the Waltons actor dies at 95. This was a black woman who starred in both TV series. Travis Hunter gets his full $30.57 million signing bonus up front. When it comes to rookie contracts, there's not much to negotiate. On one of the few negotiable items, Jaguars receiver, defensive back Travis Hunter did very well. New Stellantis CEO faces slew of challenges, vows to avoid mediocrity. Antonio Filosa is stepping into the role of CEO at automaker Stellantis with a host of challenges in front of him. This is coming out of Italy. U.S. attacks on Iran resemble a TikTok-style war and may be peak military involvement, geopolitical experts say. There have been some comments, from President Trump in regards to no nuclear power for Iran and a couple of other things in that tone. And then when Iran launched against Israel, comments came back that there were 35 missiles sent. All 35 were knocked out of the air by Israel, as opposed to hundreds of missiles being sent. And Israel does have that protective, I believe it's referred to as the Iron Dome in the skies against missile attacks. Again, considering how this started, back in October, a couple of years ago, well, whenever it was, seeming to me nothing over nothing, Syria jumped in. Now Iran jumped in. So it's just a continuous situation at this point. With organizations stepping in to try to use calming words and a little bit of judgment to try to adjust and call for a ceasefire. Number 9, bride shot dead, 13-year-old wounded at wedding party, France. According to a source close to the investigation, the violence might be linked to possible drug-related score settling. And number 10, top Democrat says Trump strikes on Iran a massive, massive gamble. Again, we have a president who speaks up, may not always observe protocol, as we have seen, which leads one thing, leads to another. So here we have another example of same. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker. Monday, June 23rd, 2025. That's it. Hashtag